thank you so much for doing this. I'm sure that's a wild time for you, and like I guess a wild like last 2 3 years of you know getting this done when other people couldn't, and then watching it come out and be received, and then it immediately turns to, oh, let's do it again. Do you get time to breathe, to like enjoy the fact that you did it?
It's a good question. I would say that I remember when we got the numbers out of United States for the first weekend, and those numbers were much higher than our expectation, and it was like great numbers, and everybody were popping champagne, and I was like, wow! I that night I slept so well. I remember sleeping like a baby because it had been like something like a ride of 3 years and a half, 4 years of work coming to, and finally of seeing that the people were showing up to the theaters. And I remember waking up on that Monday morning so relaxed. And that was the first time that I was actually really sleeping. And then by the end of that day, I was starting prep. So I enjoyed a good night of sleep between all both movies. I will say.
Deserve more than one, but yeah, I mean, you're always, I think, the next one is being prepped. I think even I remember I was at an event with you for, it might have been, it was 3 movies ago, but you were talking about the next one. Like there's always something going on, and that's
Listen, the truth is, I tried to slow down after Blade Runner because when I started to work, and I'm not proud of this, okay? That's the truth. When I started to do Blade Runner, I was already tired coming out of Sicario and Arrival, and I remember that there was something about the rhythm. It's like a exaggerated thing, you know. It's like I was high on creativity, but it's taxing on the body and the I started prep on Blade Runner being already a little bit tired, and I remember that I said to myself, I need to slow down in order to honor those projects. I gave everything to Blade Runner, the last drop of energy, and when I went out, I needed a break,
oh yeah, I mean, I
and I
think
needed to slow down, and I did slow down. I at that time I took more time to prep Dune Part One because I really needed to recharge and also to take time to reflect on what I had done the past years and to see where I want to go next. Dune Part 1 and Dune Part 2 will be done quite a quick. I'd say I'm jumping back on the horse quite quickly, but it's the nature of the project. I mean, I think it makes total sense to me
yeah.
to bring the horse out, out of the field
Um,
again.
I remembered it was Sicario, because I remember you were talking about the score for Arrival and how like getting it sent to you, and like sometimes it wasn't the right thing. It was still amazing music, but like it's not what I'm hearing in my head. How can we move it a little bit this way? And I always thought of that because it was such a interesting way of, here's how I tell someone no, but I respect their work and I want them to keep doing it, and I want them to know the work is great, but the picture in my head is a little different. And I think that's a lot of the reason why I think your work is so good is you have such a clear picture in your head that other people can see and hear, and it feels tactile. And whether it's something very realistic or taking place on another planet, like there's something about, and you feel like it's taking place, and it's part of it is that I guess you're a good leader.
Thank you for saying so, but I will say this: the beauty, one of the beauty, if not the most beautiful thing about cinema is to create
Yeah.
together, to create poetry together too. So it's like the idea is to inspire a group of people and lead them in a one specific direction that following your ideas and your instinct, but it's like it's about how to work together and to make sure that to bring the best out of people. And it's really beautiful when you think about it, that communal effort to create something that will move people later, that all that dance between all those departments. It's really a beautiful thing for me, and it's still today, to this day, each shot that I'm doing, I'm still grateful to have the chance to share cinema with friends and people and other people.
Yeah, with the added bonus of you've gotten to a point where the scale can be as big as your imagination. Starting out, you're just happy to make a movie. Then it's, I want to make a movie for a little bit more. And you've gotten to the point where, you know, you can pitch something that only a handful of people can make. And, you'll get talked about for movies that like, you grew up watching, like, oh, Bond, like that's cool. But like other people make that. Oh, wait, no, they think I can make that now. It's, there's something to that of I'm passionate about it and I want to make something creative that people connect with, but I can do it on the largest scale possible. And that's where you don't get as much creativity usually. So that makes it special.
The thing is that it's I'm trying the goal is to listen. I think that I can do my job well if I have a deep connection with what I'm doing. Like if it speaks to me in an intimate way and it says something to me about me and about my relationship to the world and to the world and the way I see something in the world and the what and as long as I can protect that link and that authenticity and that so the movie is mine
Yeah.
and I'm working with the people that respect that and but it's like so no matter what is the size of the movie I need to protect that intimate link.
Yeah. And you see that. And I mean, I was at Toronto at the Cinesphere where we saw it in IMAX and you came out to like,
Oh, you were there.
yeah,
Oh.
to thank people for seeing it that way. And it was, there's something about that enthusiasm being there of of course this was hard work. And of course, like there were days I had more fun or less fun, but I did it and you guys get to see it. And this is as close to what I had in my head and the size and everything and sound the right way. Like there's something special when a filmmaker is thrilled to show you their work. And whether it's good or bad, you go, okay, this person put everything in there and they feel like it means something. As opposed to I hit my deadline, here you go, good luck.
Yeah. The thing is that, but first of all movies are difficult to make, and
Yeah.
there's not such thing. Every movie is even the worst movie on earth as was a lot of work.
Right.
As
Sometimes more work, I would say.
Yeah. So it's like it's just like but I'm and I will make movies. I think as long as the joy will be there,
Yeah.
as long as I feel that deep, pure joy about cinema and filmmaking, I will make the day I will feel that I'm just there for a paycheck. I will stop right away.
Because it is like anyone in the industry, it always feels weird when they're acting that way because it is. You get to make pretend for a living. Like you did this for free as a child. You imagine things and you played with toys and you just get to do that with people now. Like, I'm still playing with toys, but okay, Oscar Isaac is the toy now and Hans Zimmer is the toy now and they're the same way. And that's
I don't say that. I will not say that to Oscar and Hans that they are toys, but I like the.
Well, it's funny when I talked to him about this, he was like, obviously it's to do this with him. The best part was when I talked to Hans being like, I love the book. And like, he was so delighted when you were like, have you heard of Dune? He was like, yes, let's do this. This is so exciting. That's the thing also to find other people who are like, I want to play in this particular sandbox, no pun intended, but like, okay, this is the project I want to make. You're as excited as I am. Okay, we might have something here, especially when, the previous attempt at this, people didn't have a good time. Like you could tell that like it didn't go the way they'd hoped. And
but I would say, and honestly, I'm always careful about the David Lynch movie because it's like it's a movie, frankly, that has very strong things in it, and I know that the experience was not a nice one for him, specifically in the editing room. I think shooting wise, I think they had a great time. I think. So I would be. I don't know. I cannot comment on that.
Yeah, no. But yeah, you always hope that from beginning to end you have a good time. But yeah, to see that this one turned out, I'm sure there were things that like, you still look and go, oh, if I only could do this, I would be a little happier. But to feel that way and then to see that everyone else responds to it, and especially I think the people who feel the strongest about it, going in, are the people who are responding the most to it. And that's got to feel great because that's always the risk when it's something that people care about. Like their picture in their head is not going to be your picture. How do we merge those two so everyone is happy? And it seems like you really did it.
It was the goal. In fact, I wanted to be very transparent. It's a thing that I deeply love when I watched The Lord of the Ring, Peter Jackson's Lords of the Ring trilogy. there was shots in the movie where I was like, "Hey, wait a minute! He put the camera in my head." It's like I love the book, and why I think he succeeded because he respected the source material so much.
Totally.
I felt so much love for the book from and I said if I do Dune, I would love to have the same approach, which is to that becomes the Bible, and that we are entirely focusing on the words of Frank Herbert and trying to be as close to his description as possible, so people from time to time will have glimpse of things that they feel respect the mental images that they had. That was the goal, to try to be close, as close, if yeah.
Well, that's where I think so many of, whether it's a book or a video game or whatever someone's adapting, the reason they fail is I think people worry that like we can't just do that. We have to find something new, and 9 times out of 10, you're just getting away from the thing that someone fell in love with it because whether that's the most creative thing to you, or it's okay, I would do this differently, but no, that's why this property is so beloved. So honoring it and then finding a way to make it your own is tricky, but it's something that you've done consistently well. I mean, whether it's Blade Runner or Dune, I mean, I frankly, I was skeptical about Dune because it just seemed like this seems really hard and there's so many ways it could not work, but it certainly did. Like I ate my words. I freely admit I was wrong. There's something to, okay, he did it, because it's so many people fail at whatever these projects. So there's this little extra bit of, he did it. And I know, I'm not the first person to say it, but like, you should just be very proud that it did connect with everyone, whether they read the book or didn't. There's something special there, and that it feels like a classic story being told again.
You point your finger on something that was very important to us, which is that it was important for us that hardcore fans of the book will recognize elements, ideas, the poetry that they love, that they read the book, but that people who didn't know nothing about the book will also feel welcome. And to find that balance was not easy.
So my girlfriend had come with me to Toronto, and she came to that screen. They went, "It's my favorite Star Wars movie," which is a funny way of like, it's it feels like sci-fi, but like it's good. Like there's something to
That's a nice compliment.
Yeah. She's like, I think she might have heard of Dune in like a concept of, oh, it's a thing sci-fi people like, but there's something to that. Like that person likes it. The person who read every single book and knows where this is going and like is looking at things going, I hope he does this in the next movie. They like it. There's something to that. And it's gotta be, you talked about how tiring this can be. It's gotta be helpful to go for going into the next one, that like, okay, we did it. And you know what? We can do better now. Which, is such a high concept, but also like, we exceeded maybe even our own aspirations this time. Who's to say we can't do it again? And we have even more support now because, the money people are going to go, oh, we made money? Sure, let's keep going. There's the one less monkey on the back.
The thing is, I will say that the big challenge would be we will revisit spaces or environments, or it will be how to make sure that we revisit those places with a new approach, with bringing something new to it, to inspire people, to surprise people again, and it's going to be exciting to do part 2, definitely, and it's going to be definitely it's a part of the story that is more cinematic. There's more tension. It's going to be definitely more intense. Right. So and it's something that I'm really looking forward to explore. I'm really going forward to go back on Arrakis with the camera.
Oh, yeah. And the cast too, like especially some of the people who have smaller roles there are doing it knowing I get to really play this next time out, so they're even more excited. Like everyone is. I feel like it's almost like going back to summer camp. Like everyone had a good time to remember it. And they're like,
yeah, because we all became friends, frankly, because there was like it's not something that you cannot fake that. It happened, but it doesn't. But the truth is, there was a lot of friendship that were born out of Dune. And it's like yes, one thing that gives me tremendous amount of energy is the thought of having a chance to work again with the cast. I mean, it's like they are friends and artists that I deeply love. So I'm looking forward.
And they're all people who are choosing to be there. They're all big enough names that they could be doing almost anything they want, but they responded to something and they're in it. And that's the thing. You never want to be in a situation where someone's like, this is fine. Like, who wants to do that? Like, it's like you never want to go on a bad date. Like, it seems like everyone had a great date and they all want to go out again. And that's, to do something on that scale and with the amount of time and energy that everyone's in it and everyone's having a good time and everyone wants to make, something that people feel passionately about and still is a big fun sci-fi thing with ideas. What more can you ask for?
Yeah, you're right. It's like we're gonna have a lot of fun with a lot of friends again.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. I'm sure you can't wait. You deserve a little bit of rest though. So there's more of these. There's another month or so of people telling you did a great job. So enjoy that, and then we're all gonna be looking forward to it because I think you do something very specific that no one else is really doing, and it's amazing. We need more people like you who bring ideas to like the biggest scale possible. It's a beautiful thing.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you so much for doing this.